What's up, gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm Joshua Hall. I talk a little bit about money, a little bit about travel, a little bit about dating, and a little bit about everything else I find interesting and or entertaining. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Now, I just recorded a video that probably will go up right before this one about how to stay in Poland for over 90 days. And part of the reason I recorded that video is because you're likely not going to get access to the 9s and 10s, the beautiful women, solely through dating apps, nor are you going to get access to them if you are a weekend warrior. Because these women really aren't interested in tourists because they have access to the high-level men in their own country. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how you can get access to them. Now, first and foremost, like I mentioned in the previous video, you're probably going to have to be more than a weekend warrior. You're going to need to be someone who spends a decent amount of time in whichever country it is that you are interested in. And there's various methods of doing it. Really depends on the region, the country, and all that good stuff. There's temporary residency, there's permanent residency, visa extensions, and other methods. So it really depends on where you are going to be and how long you want to be there. Now, with all that said, what you're going to need to do is build a social circle, and that is going to take time, hence why you're going to need to spend a significant amount of time in these places in order to date 9s and 10s. Because not just anyone can get access to these women. And so you're going to build a social circle by doing day game, by doing night game, by going to clubs, by going to events, whatever you think a high value event is. Maybe going to wineries, depends where you are going. Maybe concerts, maybe operas, maybe plays. And you are going to be social. And one tip I'll give you is you shouldn't be doing this just to meet beautiful women. Now, that might be the main driver for some of you, and I'm not here to judge. I don't really care what drives you. That is a totally personal decision. And so if that's your main driver, great for you. But some other things you should think about, maybe you're going to make political connections. Maybe you'll make business connections. Maybe you'll make investment connections. There's all kinds of different connections you can make and that you can ultimately benefit from other than women. But like I said, I'm not here to judge you. If that's all you care about, so be it. Who am I to judge? So what you're going to do is you're going to start building relationships. And so you're going to be thinking, where are these high value people at? And where are these 9s and 10s likely to hang out with? So for example, maybe you want to build connections with club promoters, or maybe you want to build connections with model agency owners. Where are those people going to be? Or where are the 9s and 10s going to be, which are probably going to be nightclubs. And I'll give you a very brief story on this here in a minute. But one thing you should know, if you're introverted and you don't know what to say, here are 3 books or 3 resources, shall I say, to help you become a more social person so that you can build your social skills. So the first one is Always Know What to Say. The second one is How to Talk to Anyone. And the third one is Skill with People. Now, obviously, reading these books aren't going to be a magic bullet that are suddenly going to make you Don Juan overnight. You're going to have to read and implement these things in these books for a long period of time in order to make the necessary changes to make you a more charismatic and more skillful communicator. But with all that said, those are 3 resources that will help you achieve that and help you build a social circle. Also, I should mention that yes, there are going to be some 9s and 10s on dating apps. But it's going to be like, once again, you guys know what's coming. If you've seen my videos, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. I've dated a couple models from dating apps. I've dated a couple like Instagram influencers, TikTok influencers with millions of followers from dating apps. But that is a very unlikely scenario. What I'm sharing with you now is how to make it not the needle in the haystack scenario, okay? And so the story that I will tell you is me and my buddy, we were somewhere in Eastern Europe, I think it was Warsaw, and we went to a club, and we both are into like similar type of women, and our age bracket is like, for the women that we're interested in, 18 to 23, 24, maybe 25-ish, okay? And so we went to this club, and we did exactly what I am about to share with you. So I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you don't cold approach people, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, if you cold approach in order to make friendships, way different than cold approach trying to get makeouts and dates and all that garbage. And so we went up to these group of girls and just started talking to them. And if you don't know what to say, I refer you to those 3 books that I mentioned previously, but you just make conversation. You don't need canned lines, or you don't need to be some game expert or pickup artist or any of that garbage. And you know, you just talk to these women, and we were talking to them, and it turns out that they were all models. And so they were smoking hot, obviously. And it was the 2 of us and like 5 or 6 models, which obviously winning combination, right? And so we got in with them, and they were inviting us to these different events that they were invited to themselves. There were people having parties, there were people going to wineries, they were going to shows, and we were getting invited to all these places and meeting all of these people, a lot of power players actually, because guess what? People in power like being around good-looking women, and they have access to good-looking women. And so we got to expand our social circle through doing that. Now, here's another story that I'll tell you, and this one is a little bit more powerful in some ways, and there's another tip in this one actually as well. So, similar thing happened here in Guadalajara at a club called Strana, I believe it was. Don't quote me on that. But the specific club doesn't really matter. Once again, me and my buddies were going out, having a great time, and obviously doing our thing. And so what we did is we went up to these girls, once again, started talking to them, and turns out, once again, this group of girls were also a bunch of models as well. And so what we did is we actually exchanged Instagrams. And so this is one tip that I wanted to share with you that I should have previously shared, is that you want a decent Instagram, but more importantly, in your Instagram stories, if you do cool things, I would highly recommend sharing those on your Instagram stories. So we ended up going our own ways. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily need to be about, you know, anything more than making friendships. And in this particular case, one of these girls was like my type to a T. And so I was trying to get her to go on a date with me, but it was not happening. And most of you don't really know, I'm not gonna be chasing women around. So I try like 1, maybe 2 times, and then it's like back burner for me. But part of the reason I throw them on the back burner is because I show off some of the things I do in my life. And so I've talked about this before, and I've probably mentioned it in some of my videos, but I have barbecues and I have pool parties at my house. And so what I was doing is I was showing the barbecue and pool party that I was having whatever day it was, probably a Saturday. And this girl messaged me, mind you, I couldn't get her out on a date, but she messaged me to come over to this pool party. And so she came over to this pool party with even more of her model friends. You bring your friends, I bring my friends, we're all gonna have a good time. And so that's what happened. And I actually ended up seeing this girl for quite some time after that. all because I kept showing off my lifestyle on Instagram. Now you may be saying, oh, she's a gold digger, she just came over for the party, blah, blah, blah. But you have to demonstrate value in some manner. And I will tell you, definitely not a gold digger, nor do I really buy women things like that. That's just not how I lead. If you want to lead with your wallet, that's fine. That's not what I do. And this video isn't on that topic. But if you listen to that story, there's a couple of things you can learn. I wasn't needy. I didn't keep on pursuing and being needy and all that stuff. I just kept sharing value on my Instagram, and then she reached out to me. All right, so that video went way longer than anticipated, but just to summarize so that you guys get the entire point, you're going to have to build connections in these places and build a targeted social circle in order for you to get access to those 9s and 10s. Because once again, they are likely not on dating apps, and if they are, you have to have an absolutely amazing profile because you're likely not going to get your ideal matches, which maybe I will make another video about that right after this one. Boom. What a good idea. All right, so thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. And as always, peace, much love.